Mhm.
Stacey Rose's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell
Mhm.
us a road story that fits that description?
Oh, um, I'm trying to think of bizarre.
It could just be
I don't.
funny.
I mean, there was the time that. So I was. This is actually a training story. So I was driving home from Manchester with Harley Hudson,
Oh, yeah.
and we were on the motorway, and it was raining really heavily. And this is like in the winter, so it's gone dark. It's raining really heavily. But you know, we're all right. We're traveling. It's Britain. We're used to the rain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know
But
what
so
sunlight looks like?
well, we've just had a big heat wave a couple of weeks ago, so unfortunately, yes, we do. um, but and we're coming off at this junction, and I'm sure every wrestler's had this when they've been on the road, where they have that moment where their life flashes before their eyes. So we're coming off at the junction, and because it's dark, you don't see a massive vat of water until it's too late.
Ooh.
So we drove through what is just effectively this massive puddle. But I think the speed of the car going into this puddle, just like the splash, basically covered the entire car.
Oh, wow.
And you know when your life flashes before your eyes, and then because I like slammed on the brakes because I was like, oh my God, what is happening? So we're also very lucky that there's no one behind us because it's so late into the evening that the roads have gone pretty quiet. And yeah, that was quite scary. And you know what? That wasn't even coming to or from a show. That was just training. I've travelled into Wales a fair bit. For those who don't know, Wales, it's quite pretty. It's quite beautiful, for the most part. But that means that there's a lot of hills, and when you're driving a car into rural Wales and you've got big guys in the car with you because you're all on your way to a wrestling show, and then suddenly you come up to this steep hill, it can get quite challenging. So there's been quite a few times where we've all had to lean forward just to make sure that we get up the hill. Yeah, that's probably all about I can think of at the minute. I don't know. The UK is quite a small place compared to America, so I'm sure we probably don't drive for nearly as long as like American workers do.
Or Australian or Canada.
Yeah. I think even I forget sometimes that we are literally just on this tiny little island in the sea.
Oh, for sure. But that doesn't mean weird, crazy, and bizarre things are not bound to happen.
That's very true. That is very true. I mean, we have a lot of we're an old country as well, so we have a lot of old buildings. Um, so like for example, a venue I worked in a few months ago was you know the free are they called Freemasons?
Yeah.
Stonemasons, Freemasons? Yeah.
Freemason. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were in one of their buildings. And although I don't believe in all the Illuminati and all that rubbish, there is something when you sat there and you can see all these things about that, you know, is like the super secret group. It's kind of a bit unnerving. And then at a venue this weekend, just gone, in fact, it's a social club that's kind of attached to a church. So the girls' locker room in there is what we call the Jesus room, which I think is probably just the priest's, not like office, but like a little place where he can sit and watch TV and stuff. But there is a big crucifix on the wall as well, so we're getting changed, and we're kind of like, Jesus is watching us get changed. But yeah, so it's more little weird things like that tend to happen more than anything.
No, I totally get that.
Yeah.